Hi, welcome back to another one of my videos. I haven't been doing any of these in-car videos for a while now, but I promise you this one's gonna be really special because as you can see from the title, I got myself a new set of wheels. Then when I first got the car, I was using the stock rims for winter, and I bought a set of the SSR, a GTV01 in black, for my summer wheels, which was the original wheels that came with the car, the Bridgestone Potenza RE050A in 245 by 45 8.5 width. And that I kind of like not really destroyed, but I won the tire out till like late last year. The car stock from the factory had a slightly negative camber setup, so the inside of the summer tires was like really flat, like I think probably a few like millimeters more. I could see like the wire belt tubing or something. So that tire got it got rid of it last year, and late last year I actually was shopping around for new tires, and I kind of wanted to take the opportunity to get myself a new pair of rims because I just don't want to run a full black setup in summer and then go back to the like stock rims in winter. It looks kind of like weird. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the stock rims. They are like really heavy, and there's this really wide gap between the tire fenders and the tires. I didn't really like that. So well, since I'm gonna get new tires, might as well take the opportunity. And I've been a huge fan of the race, the TE37, yeah, the Touring Evolution 37 rims for a long time, since they came out in 1996, if I'm not wrong. It's arguably the most iconic Japanese wheel ever made. Like, it looks good on like any Japanese JDM sports sedan, like WRXs, Evos, Civics, and then maybe the European like performance cars like Beamers, Volkswagen Golfs, GTIs, and all that. And then some people even put them on like exotic cars like Ferraris and whatnot. So it's if you talk about, you didn't tell anybody in the car enthusiast community, and you talk to anybody, I mean, about like Japanese made rims, like T37 will be the first one to come out. And I was looking around for the race website for a while. They didn't really have the old TE37s in the size that I want. And then they came out like last year with a new one. It's called the TE37 Saga, which is like the new evolution of the TE37, the original TE37. Design is slightly a little bit different, but it's like an upgraded model for newer cars that pushes like more than 300 horses, 350, 400. So what they did was they kind of hollow out the six spoke, the back of the spokes, and then they moved the connecting the spoke that connected the outside rim of the outside rim to a little bit on the outside. So it's slightly, it's really hard to explain to you, but if you look online the pictures, you can tell different. So I initially really wanted the T37 because of the design. That's a little like a slightly concave look to it, and then there's a little lip coming out. I thought it was really nice. But then the T37 didn't have the size that I wanted, and then my next bet was to get the T37 Ultra, which they only came in like 19-inch and 20-inch, and I don't want to move up to 19 or 20-inch because I don't want the low profile tires, basically because my car is really pretty harsh, with the current setup, and I'm not the only one like in the car. So sometimes people complain, they couldn't slip in the back. So I wanted a little bit more meat in my car. So I decided to just jump on the T37 Saga, and yeah, I got it in 18-inch, and I wanted, the only color that I wanted for T37 is a bronze because that's like the most famous color for that rim. And then I was contemplating whether I should get the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S or 4, but here in Japan we couldn't get like Pilot Sport 4S in like a bunch of sizes. The only Pilot Sport 4S that you can get is the 245 by 40 a 18-inch which comes stocks with the new WRX's SDIs here, and that's the only one you can get in Japan. But I wanted like a 255 by 40, so that's doing the math is about like 8 millimeters more than the current wheel, so it wouldn't look that bad. And I don't want to lower my car because the way I live in, I probably scrape the the front bull bars, which I've done like quite a number of times, because it kind of protrudes out from the front of the car. And I'm running like all-in suspension, so I didn't drop the car. I just want to like minimize the gap between the tires and the fender, so I went for a little more meat, 255 by 40. I was thinking about 265 by 35, but that's a really expensive tire size. So yeah, and I moved up the tire width from 8.5, the stock one, to a 9-inch, so 255 would be just nice. But then again, 255/40, it's also not a very common size, but we'll see how it goes. And I'm gonna just drive down to pick up the new set of wheels and tires combination, and then put the SSR rims with the A Dunlop Winter Max 02 Winter setup in the back of the car, and then yeah, head back home or something. So yeah, we'll see how it drives, and a little update on my car. Like a few months, no, not a few months, like maybe now it's April, so like late February to March, this car has been throwing a little bit of symptoms here and there. Number one, the headlights, the one that I had retrofitted with like works in US. I was cruising down the highway one day, and then I was like it was really dark and on the high beam, and it couldn't just revert back to the low beam, so it got stuck on high beam, and the only way to get it back is to off the engine and then start it again. And I didn't know, maybe it was like a sticky reflector inside the high beam, I'm not sure. So so yeah, I'm stuck with like low beams, and I couldn't use high beams. And then the IPF fog lamps, the big ones, the circular ones that I put in the front of the car, the right side one had a little like a wiring issue over the years, so sometimes it would come on, sometimes it would just flicker, sometimes it would just go off, so you have to just play around with the wire. And the third problem with the car, which is like the most mind-boggling problem, is that I couldn't get the car to go into like third gear. Basically, when I do a hard wide open throttle pull, I drive it really hard, I couldn't get from second to third. There's just this notch in the middle that I just couldn't get third gear in, and then the problem got worse, and I couldn't decelerate properly and down the gears, like from fifth to fourth. It would be a little hard. From fourth to third, it's like it's almost impossible to get it in, sometimes at really high speeds. And then occasionally, like from fifth to fourth, I couldn't get it in. From fourth to third, I couldn't even get it in. So the car was basically like freewheeling in neutral, and I was trying to, with my clutch pedal fully depressed, I know, double clutch, anything, third and fourth, I just couldn't get it in. So I got really pissed off in like the first, late March and early April. So I was just smashing in the gear like crazy, because it's just bullshit that I couldn't get it in. I mean, maybe I don't really track my car. I don't trash my car like really hard. So this gear issue is really giving me a big headache. I will probably go to get it fixed. And based on what I've searched on the internet, there's only two solutions to it. One, to get a full transmission change, and get a thinner or a softer, like a transmission fluid, or pull out the whole transmission and tear it apart and fix everything that's broken. And the most what is that? I do think that it's a synchro mesh problem. The synchros are totally worn, because that's what based on my research, I think it's causing the gears to not go into gear. So yeah, I was trying to get over that, and what I read online is that I have to like ref match the car every time I decelerate or shift down gears. So that was basically what I was doing like for the past like 2 weeks. Every time I, doesn't matter high speed or low speed, every time I decelerate, I would just brake and accelerate. It's more like Q-toe, So it's a little weird, like if you do it on the track, it's okay, but on normal roads, even at like 40 or like 50, I couldn't get the gear in, so I have to brake and rev and brake and rev. So yeah, sometimes it works about like 90% of the time, but sometimes, you know, even when I brake and accelerate, the gear just does this, you know, we try to put the gear in, there's this grinding sound or something. It's just so I'm just shaving off whatever metal parts that is left of the gear, and then those metal shavings will mix with the transmission oil and probably weigh out other gears. And it's like I was looking around for a lot of like places to fix my car, and then like next week or next week is like 10 days super long super golden week holiday in Japan, so everyone is on holidays. So I'm pretty much out of luck, and I don't have like a second car, so I have to drive this car and baby it and get it fixed. But anyway, I've chosen to, you know, overhaul the whole transmission, tear it out, and remove the synchro mesh, the gear bearings, and you know, any other damaged gears, and it's gonna cost quite a bit, because the temporary and the cheaper option would be to replace the transmission fluid. But if the problem, you know, continues, and at some point in time, I still have to get it all, you know, I still gotta get the transmission to tear it apart and totally fix it. So I would opt for like a permanent solution and a temporary solution. And then my car is almost like 97,000. So yeah, the clutch is not slipping, but I would just want to take this opportunity to change the clutch as well, and the timing belt. So all the workshops are like all busy, so I have to wait until like after the Golden Week to get it properly fixed up. So even though I'm so excited today to get the new TE37 Saga with the Michelin PS4, there's no way I can really enjoy this car until I get the transmission fixed. I do believe it's one of the issues with driving performance cars like that. I mean, if you drive a family car, I wouldn't have this issue. But let me know what you guys think of you know, this synchro mesh or this transmission problem, or you know, what would you guys is there a solution, or how do you deal with it, or is it okay to like drive it normally? I mean, I would not want to drive it like every day, but this is the only car I have, so I'm pretty much out of luck. And yeah, let me know what you think of the new wheels and the rims and everything. I'm probably gonna pick it up and do a video later, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, in the meantime, yeah, I'll see you later in the next video. Take care and bye.